Okay, so welcome to all of you. So last time we had seen the residue classes modulo n. We have seen some examples. So this is also a part of the congruence modulo n. So that is the Fermat's theorem. This is very nice and important theorem. Okay. So what is the statement of this Fermat's theorem? Let P be a prime. So P is the prime integer. Okay. So we are familiar with the prime. So its divisors are only plus or minus 1 and plus or minus p is nothing but a prime. Okay. So then we have taken the integer a such that p does not divide a. So then a raised to p minus 1 is congruent to 1 mod p. So this is the Fermat's theorem. So p is the prime, p does not divide a, then a raised to p minus 1 is congruent to 1 mod p. So it proves this one. So consider the first p minus 1 positive multiples of a, that is multiples of a, positive multiples of a. So how many numbers we have to taken? P minus 1 numbers we have taken. So this is a, twice a, 3a, dot dot dot, p minus 1 times a. So I will call these numbers as a 1 now. So these are p minus 1 numbers, they are the multiple of a now. Okay. No two of these are congruent to modulo p. So that means what? This, if you take any two numbers, they are not congruent to modulo p. Suppose, okay, if possible, Ra is congruent to Sa modulo p. That means Ra is some and Sa is something. So this is what? 1 less than or equal to R is less than strictly less than p now. Strictly less than p. Okay. So that means what? These are we have taken the any two of these numbers from this p minus 1 numbers. Okay. So that means what here, since GCD of AP is 1, GCD of AP is 1 because what? P does not divide A. So GCD of P is 1. So this implies that, so cancellation law hold, this implies that R is congruent to S mod P, 1 less than equal to R, S, this is S less than P. So this is contradiction because P is the prime and R is what? Congruent to S modulo P. This will be what? This will be what? P is prime, then what? So P is prime. So 1 minus 2, 1 minus P, right? So that means R minus S is the multiple of P, but P is prime, right? So P is prime. So this is contradiction. This is contradiction. This is contradiction. Therefore, no two of these numbers are congruent to modulo P. Modulo P. Okay. So thus a twice a, 3a, dot dot dot, p minus 1 times a leave the different remainder when divided by p. That means they leave the different remainder because they are not congruent to modulo. No two numbers are congruent to modulo p. That means what? They leave the different remainder when divided by p. So that is a twice a, 3a, dot dot dot, p minus 1 times a congruent modulo p to 1, 2, 3, dot dot dot, p minus 1 for some order. multiplying these congruence, multiplying these congruences, we are multiplying this. What? A is congruent to some 1 mod p, the twice A is congruent to 2 modulo p, something like this. So we multiply this. What? A into twice A into 3A dot 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 into p minus A congruent to 1 into 2 into 3 dot 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 into p minus 1 modulo p. We have taken the multiplication of all these things. We are not writing this is what? A is congruent to 1 mod p, something like this. Twice A is congruent to 2 modulo p, something like this. All this, and we have taken the product. Okay. So now what is this? This is what? How many A's are there? P minus 1 are there. So this is what? A raised to p minus 1 into what? 1 into 2 into 3 into p minus 1. So p is what? Positive integer. So prime. So it is positive. That means what? This is the product of first p minus 1 natural numbers. So that means it is the p minus 1 factorial congruent to p minus 1 factorial modulo p. But p do not divide p minus 1 factorial. Therefore we have so cancellation law hold, because therefore what this implies that GCD of p minus 1 factorial is 1. Okay, if GCD of p and p minus 1 factorial is 1, therefore you can cancel this. So therefore we have a raised to p minus 1 is congruent to 1 mod p, and this we want a raised to p minus 1 is congruent to 1 mod p. So this is very simple theorem. Statement is also very simple, proof is also very simple, and this is very applicable. Okay, and very applicable theorem now here. So we write Euler's theorem now. Euler's theorem. Statement. If p is prime and p does not divide a, then a raised to p is congruent to a mod p. Okay, so we prove this one. Prove. Since p is a prime and p does not divide a, then by Fermat's theorem, a raised to p minus 1 is congruent to 1 mod p. A is congruent to 1 mod p. Okay, then we will multiply by a into p, a raised to, we will multiply by a. So this is a into a raised to p minus 1 is congruent to a mod. For multiplication, for cancellation we have the problem. For multiplication we don't have any problem. Okay, so this is what? A raised to p is congruent to a mod p. This is also actually the application of the Fermat's theorem. So this is also Fermat's theorem. A raised to p is congruent to a mod p. Okay, so that is also the Fermat's theorem. Now we will see some problems on the Fermat's theorem. Okay, so problems are very nice and very important. Okay, so problems. Okay, take example. Show that 7 raised to 10 minus 5 raised to 10 is divisible by 11. Is divisible by 11. Solution. Okay, 11 is a prime. 11 is a prime and 11 does not divide 7. 11 does not divide 7. Therefore, by Fermat's theorem, by Fermat's theorem, 7 raised to 11 minus 1 is congruent to 1 mod 11. You want 1 mod 11 here now. Here P is the prime. Okay, so 11 is the prime. So we are taking the benefit. 10 raised to 10 is congruent to 1 mod 11. I will call this as 1. I will call this as 1. Okay, now 11 is the prime. 11, right? And 11 do not divide 5. 11 do not divide 5. Therefore, by Fermat's theorem, 5 raised to 10, I will directly this, 5 raised to 10 is congruent to 1 mod 11. 1 mod 11. So I will call this as 2 now. I will call this as 2. So from 1 and 2, I will do the subtraction because I know that A is congruent to B modulo n and C is congruent to D modulo n. Then A minus C is congruent to B minus D modulo n. We have proved this. So we know this. We will apply this now. So what is this? 7 raised to 10 minus 5 raised to 10 is congruent to 1 minus 1 modulo 11. So this is what? 7 raised to 10, 5 raised to 10 is congruent to 0 modulo n. Okay. So therefore now this remainder is 0 when 7 raised to 10 minus 5 raised to 10 is divided by 11. So therefore 7 raised to 10 minus 5 raised to 10 is divisible by 11. Okay. So very simple problem. And this is C. So 7 raised to 10. So it is not easy to find 7 raised to 10, 5 raised to 10. Okay. With the help of the Fermat's theorem, we did these problems very easily. Because we want only the remainder. Okay, so we'll take the next problem. Next example. If GCD of A and 35 is 1, then show that A raised to 12 is congruent to 1 mod 35. 1 mod 35. Okay. Solution. Given that A35 is equal to 1. GCD of A35 is 1. Okay, so 35 is same as 5 into 7. Both are the prime. Right? So therefore GCD of A5 is 1. GCD of A7 is also 1. Okay, so that means what here? 5 do not divide say, 7 do not divide say. Therefore by Fermat's theorem, A raised to 4 is congruent to 1 mod 5 and A raised to 6 is congruent to 1 mod 7. Okay, so 5 divide A raised to 4 minus 1 and 7 divides A raised to 6 minus 1. Okay, I will call this as 1. So now A raised to 12 minus 1, A raised to 12 minus 1 is A raised to 6 minus 1 into A raised to 6 plus 1. Okay. So I will write this letter first. I will write this is what? A raised to 4 minus 1 into A raised to 8 plus A raised to 4 plus 1. This I can write this A raised to 12. Just do this calculation. And A raised to 12 minus 1, I can write this what? A raised to 6 plus 1, A raised to 6 minus 1. So what does this imply? a raised to 4 minus 1 divides a raised to 12 minus 1, and a raised to 6 minus 1 divide a raised to 12 minus 1. I will call this as 2 now. I will call this as 2. See, from 1 and 2. From 1 and 2. From 1 and 2. Now see here. We have seen that A divides B, B divides C. We know that A divides B, B divides C, then A divides C. This we know. If A divides B, B divides C, then A divides C. Right? So we are familiar with this. So now here what happened? So see, here what? 5 divide A minus A raised to 4 minus 1. And A raised to 4 minus 1 divide this. So for this implies what? 5 divide A raised to 12 minus 1. Okay, so because we are interested in what? A raised to 12 this. Okay, so and here what? 7 divides A raised to 6 minus 1. A raised to 6 minus 1 divides A raised to 12 minus 1. Therefore, A7 divides A raised to 12 minus 1. But GCD of 5 and 7 is 1. So therefore, 5 into 7 divides A raised to 12 minus 1. Right? Very simple. But 5 into 7, what does this imply? This is 35 divides A raised to 12 minus 1. And this implies that A raised to 12 is congruent to 1 mod 35. So if you understand the definition, so that means if you understand the definition of congruence modulo, right, then easily you can prove the any theorem. So for this you should understand also A divide B, B divide C, something like this. So divisibility. So that means here what? Whole chapter basic, the basic definitions are important here. If you understand the basic definitions here and the properties of the division, properties of the congruence modulo n, so then the theorems or any problems are very easy. Easily you can rotate the problem now. Okay, easily you can rotate the problems and easily you can solve the problems. Okay, we will take the next problem. We'll take next problem. Find unit digit of 3 raised to 100 by use of Fermat's theorem. For use of Fermat's theorem. Okay, solution. Unit place means what? The 10th place, right? So that means what? You have to write the modulo 10 now. You have to find the remainder. You have to find is what? 3 raised to 100 modulo 10 now. Modulo 10. Okay. So we'll find the remainder. You have to find the remainder where 3 raised to 100 is divided by 10 that you want. Okay. So first we'll find the remainder when divided by 5, and then we'll find the remainder. So for Fermat's theorem we need the prime. For 10, so 10 is nothing but 2 into 5. Okay. So 10 is equal to 2 into 5. Right. Both 2 and 3 are prime. So we'll find the remainder when 3 raised to 100 divided by 2, and next we'll find the remainder when 3 raised to 100 is divided by 5. Okay. Okay. So what? 2 is prime. 2 is prime, and 2 do not divide 3. 2 do not divide 3. Therefore, by Fermat's theorem, 3 raised to 3 raised to 3 raised to what? P minus 1 is 3 is congruent to 1 mod 2. 3 is congruent to 1 mod 2. So we'll take the power 100 directly because 1 is there now. 3 raised to 100 is congruent to 1 raised to 100 is 1 mod 2. I will call this as 1 now. I will call this as 1. So okay, instead of this I can write this as 2 divides 3 raised to 100 minus 1. I call this as 1 now. Again 5 is prime. 5 is prime and 5 do not divide 3. 5 do not divide. 5 do not divide a now. A raised to p minus 1. So a raised to p minus 1. So 3 raised to 4. 3 raised to 4. Each congruent to 1 mod 5. So I take the power 25. So 3 raised to 4 to the power 25 is congruent to 1 mod 5. So this is what 3 raised to 100 is congruent to 1 mod 5. So this implies that 5 divides 3 raised to 100 minus 1. 5 divides 3 raised to 100 minus 1. I will call this as 2. So as GCD of 2 and 5 is 1. So therefore from 1 and 2. So 2 into 5 divides 3 raised to 100 minus 1. That is 10 divides 3 raised to 100 minus 1. So therefore 3 raised to 100 is congruent to 1 mod 10. 1 mod 10. Therefore 1 is units digit of 3 raised to 100. Unit digit of 3 raised to 100. Okay, so we'll do one more problem on this. Okay, find unit digit 9 to the power 100 now. We'll find 9 to the power 100 now. Okay, again here what? Solution. So what? We'll write this as 10 now. So this is 5. Okay, so 2 is prime and 2 do not divide 9 now. 2 do not divide 9. So therefore by Fermat's theorem, 9 raised to your p is 2 now. 9 is congruent to 1 mod 2. We'll take 9 to the power 100. 9 to the power 100 is congruent to 1 mod 2. I'll call instead of this. Okay, so we'll call this as 1 now. No problem for this one. Directly you can call this as 1. Okay. Now 5 is prime and 5 do not divide 9. So therefore 9 to the power 4 is congruent to 1 mod 5. So I take the power 25 on both sides. 25 is congruent to 1 to the power 25 is 1. So mod 5. Then 9 to the power 100. 9 to the power 100 is congruent to, I will call this as 2. So as GCD of 2 and 5 is 1. So therefore from 1 and 2 we have, so now this GCD of 2 and 5 is 1. I will take the, I can write this as what? 2 into 5 now here. What? So 9 to the power 100 minus 1 is congruent to 1 mod 5 to 2, that is 10. Because 9 to the power 101, all these are same. So I can write this, replace 5 as a 10 now, no problem for this one. Okay. So now, so not minus 1 here. So therefore 1 is unit digit of 9 to the power 100. So we get 1. Okay. So this is very simple. So see, the Fermat's theorem plays very important role, right? So easily we can find the unit place to 9 to the power 100. Actually it is very difficult to find 9 to the power 100. Okay. We'll take one more problem. Okay. If example, if 7 do not divide A, then prove that either 3 A raised to 3 plus 1 or A cube minus 1 is divisible by 7. Okay, solution. 7 is prime and 7 do not divide A, right? So therefore, by Fermat's theorem, what A raised to 7, that means A raised to 6 is congruent to 1 mod 7. This implies that 7 divides A raised to 6 minus 1. Okay? So this implies that 7 divides A raised to cube minus 1 into A raised to cube plus 1. Right? By Euler's theorem, now 7 is prime. That means what? It divides the product, then it divides at least one of them. So that means what here? 7 divides A cube minus 1 or 7 divides A cube plus 1. Right? So therefore, so this is our problem is over now. So very simple. So this is by Euclid's lemma, right? So we have proved the Euclid's lemma. Okay. Okay, use Fermat's theorem. Next problem, to verify that 17 divides 11 raised to 104 plus 1. Okay, solution. 17 is a prime. 17 is prime. And 17 do not divide 11. So therefore, by Fermat's theorem, what? Your A is what? 11. Okay. So 11 to the power 16 is congruent to 1 mod 17 now. Right? Now, this is 16 now. So we divide by 104 by 16 now. 104 by 16. So what is that? So we'll do for 9 now. So 9 do not work. We'll do for 8 now. Oh, 8 also do not work. 8 also do not work. So we'll do for 6 now. 96. So this is 8. What are the 8? We are not here. So what? We'll take the power 6 now. 11 to the power 16 to the power 6 is congruent to 1 mod 17. So 11 to the power, what is this? 11 to the power 96 now. 11 to the power 96 is congruent to 1 mod 17. We want 11 to the power 04 now. We'll call this as 1 now. We'll call this as 1. Okay. So 11 to the power 11 into 11 is what? 121. So 11 power will divide by 17 then. Okay, so if you do this, so 2 we get. Okay, so 11 square is congruent to 2 modulo 17 now. 2 modulo 17. Okay. So how much? So you want here what? You want 8 now here. So that this is what? 8 now. So we have to take the power 4 now here. We'll take the power 4. Is congruent to 2 raised to 4 is 16 now. Mod 17. Yeah, so one should not be there. Okay. Okay. So I will call this as 2 now. Okay. So not 2. So this is what 11 to the power 11 to the power 8 now. 11 to the power 8 is congruent to 16 mod 17. Okay. Now I call this as 2 now. So what I will do from 1 and 2 now, I will take the multiplication now, so that 11 to the power 104 I get. Now this is what you were multiplying. Okay. So plus 1 will be there. Okay. So we are multiplying. So 16 mod 17. So plus 1 is correct now here. Okay. So 11 to the power 10. Now this is what 11 to the power 104 is come to 17 means minus 1. 17 means minus 1 mod 16 means we are taking the product, right? So 16 means minus 1 now here. Okay. So this implies that 17 divides 11 to the power 104 plus 1. Okay. So therefore, okay. So we have proved 17 divides 11 to the power 104 plus 1. Okay. So we are through. So this is very simple problem. So you have to do for this one. This calculation is very important now here. Because what up to 96, how you get this 6 now here? So divide 104 by 16 and find the quotient and take the power of that quotient. So we get up to 96 we get. Then we have to change our root now here. For 11 to the power square, so this is 121. So divide by 121 by divide 121 by 17. Find the remainder. Just write that remainder here. And now what here? Now here what? So 96 power there. One you want 104. So this is what? So there should be 8 now. So you have to take the fourth power, so that we will get here 8 now. So you have to take the power of this is 16 also. Then what you have to take the product of these two, so that we get the 11 to the power 104, right? So product of these two also. But 16 is nothing but a minus 1, right? So because we want to prove this is what, so therefore we have written 16 as a minus 1. 15 is there, then you can write here minus 2, right? Okay. So I hope that you understand this one. Okay. We'll take the next problem. If A42 is 1, show that 168 divides divides a raised to 6 minus 1. Okay, so I hope that you can do this. This is a similar problem we did this, right? So for 35 we did this for 35. Okay, so this is what 7 into 6 or 7 into 2 into 3. So many there. What 7 into 3? See, this is what for prime. 7 into 6, right? That is 7 into 3 into 2. See, this is the product. So do for 7, do for 3, and do for 2. Okay, so you can do this one. Okay, we did this problem. So we'll take the next one. Find the remainder. Find the remainder. Find the remainder when 2 raised to 1 not 5 is divided by 11. Is divided by 11. Okay, solution 2 raised to 1 not 5. Right? We want only the remainder. Okay, so 11 is prime. Solution 11 is prime, and 11 do not divide 2. Therefore, by Fermat's theorem, what a is your 2 raised to 10, 2 raised to 10 is congruous to 1 modulo 11, 1 modulo 11. So we have 2 raised to 1 not 5. I will take the 10th power of this one. 2 raised to 10th power of this one, so that I get 100 now. So 1 mod 11. So this is what 2 raised to 100 is congruent to 1 mod 11. I will call this as 1 now. Now I will do this for 11 now. So 2 raised to 3 is 8. 2 raised to 4 is 16 now. So for 16 I will find this. 2 raised to 16 mod 11. So 2 raised to 4, not 2 raised to 16. 2 raised to 4. 2 raised to 4 is 16. 2 raised to 4. See how much I want here. Actually 2 raised to 5. I can write directly 2 raised to 5 because I know the 2 raised to 5 is the 32. So I directly write 2 raised to 5 now here. 2 raised to 5. Because if I multiply this 2, so I get 2 raised to 105. So I know the 2 raised to 5 is the 32. So if 32 is divided by 11, then the remainder is what? So the remainder is 22. That means remainder is 10 now. Remainder is 10 now. Remainder is 10. Okay. So I will call this as a 2. Manually I can do this one. Okay. So I will multiply this. Okay. So I will multiply this. So 2 raised to 100 into 2 raised to 5 into 2 raised to 5 is congruent to 1 into 10 modulo 11. So 2 raised to 105 is congruent to 10 modulo 11. So therefore what? Therefore 10 is the remainder. 10 is the remainder when 2 raised to 105 is divided by 11. Now see, easily we can get the remainder now. Okay, so we don't need the quotient. So easily we can find remainder by with the help of the Fermat's theorem, right? So 2 raised to 105 is not we cannot calculate 2 raised to 105 with the help of calculator also, scientific calculator, because our scientific calculator is 8 digit or 12 digit, right? So it is very difficult to find the value of 2 raised to 105 by using your pocket calculator as well as the scientific calculator which you are using this, right? But with the help of the Fermat's theorem, easily we can find a remainder at least. Okay. Now we take next one. Find the remainder. Find the remainder when 7 raised to 200 plus 11 raised to 800 divided by 101 divided by 101. So 101 is also prime. Okay, solution. 101 is prime and 101 do not divide 7. First we will do for 7 and then we will do for 11 now. So therefore by Fermat's theorem, 7 raised to 100 is congruous to 1 mod 101. 101. Don't take 7 now here. Okay. So that, and what you want? 200. So I have to take the square on both sides now here. So what? 100 to the power 2. So 1 square is 1 now. Okay. So mod 101. So 7 raised to 200 is congruent to 1 mod 101. I call this as 1 now. I call this as 1. Again, 101 is prime and 101 do not divide 11. Therefore by Fermat's theorem, so what? So 11 raised to, because your A is 11 and your P prime, that is 101. So P minus 1, that means it is 100, is congruent to 1 mod 101. So now here you want 11 to the power 800. We'll take the 8 power. So 11 raised to 100 to the power 8. So 1 to the power 8 is 1 mod 101. So 11 to the power 800 is congruent to 1 mod 101. I will call this as 2. So from 1 and 2. So what I have to do? We have to take the addition. So that is what? 7 to the power 200 plus 11 to the power 800 is equal to 1 plus 1 modulo 101. So this is what? 7 to the power 200, 11 to the power 800 is congruent to 2 modulo 12. That means what? 2 is the remainder. So what? 2 is the remainder. 2 is the remainder when 7 raised to 200 plus 11 raised to 800 divided by 101. Okay, so very simple, right? No need to find the value of this one and no need to do the division, multiplication, addition, subtraction like this, right? So with the Fermat theorem, easily we can find the remainder of this biggest number. Okay. So you can solve number of problems like this. I hope that you understand the Fermat theorem, how to evaluate the problems on the Fermat theorem, right? How to apply the Fermat theorem. So I hope that you understand this one. This is the end of the chapter also. The third chapter we have finished. So we'll go next time. We'll go for the fourth chapter, that is the complex number. Also that is the last chapter, and you are familiar with the complex number. Okay. So we stop here.